circle reverse and change rein. Small circle through the puddle there. Right where you are. And outside rein, outside rein, outside rein. Your first natural instinct is to pull on the inside rein. Notice you can shut down off the outside as well. You want right where you are. A lot of this behavior she shows here has got a lot to do with just coming off your leg in general and not staying forward, sucking back a little bit. But doing this now is just getting her a little bit more attentive to your leg rather than just andering around on a couple of small circles and then going to trot. You have to be asking a bit more. Come on, up my leg, straighten her, straighten her, straighten her, spin around. That's it. There. And walk another one right where you are. Come on, come around.
Sorry.
That's part of it.
I poked so hard.
Well, you got the response. There, good. Okay, and pick up your trot and take your trot into the 20-meter circle. Okay, so just hold the circle a little bit smaller. Smaller circle straight away is going to help you a little bit as well. Good. That's going to stay rounding down.
Actually, it's pretty good, so you make sure you talk loud, okay?
Hey! My guess is you're probably not going to get that same reaction today that we've had in previous days.
Right.
Because you're riding the circle slightly different. There are a couple of distractions in the puddles. So it's kind of broken up the circle a little bit for her not to misbehave. There's other things keeping her mind occupied. One more circle.
Actually, it's not too bad standing here.
Good. Okay, and take it down the long side, about halfway down the half circle reverse. Make it quite a decent size half circle, maybe 3/4 the width of the arena. Good. And come back on the short diagonal.
Like that?
Yeah, you're changing the rein. That's it. Okay, and circle.
Where's the videographer?
Not behind me.
No. Oh, there you go.
Well, it's dry here.
Now we're caught cabin. Bucksmooth Meadows.
Okay, that's great. Push your heels down. You're tipping forward a little bit. Good job. And one more of those circles. Take it with a little bit more inside bend. There. Keep that inside bend past the pole here. Inside leg, that's better. Good. Right, take that trot larger down the long side. Just past halfway. The larger circle, about 3/4 the width of the arena. Half circle and then back on your changing the rein. Heel down. Good. Back on your short diagonal.
Oh,
Keep
she
going.
did it again. Keep changing that too soon. Okay. I know. Don't point it out. I saw it.
Okay. Do one circle and then come around and change the rein again on this side.
Same way up the.
Down the long side. come back to a halfway circle down the center line.
See, Natasha's like Pedersen.
Eh?
Natasha's like Pedersen. You know, when they talked to the coach of the Vancouver Canucks, they said, what do you say to Pedersen when he makes a mistake? He goes, nothing.
Oh, you don't.
He says he already knows.
He already knows a mistake. Yeah.
So he said,
Yeah,
you
when
know,
he discusses it a lot of times with Besser,
Now to the left.
they discuss the mishaps.
Do the same
oh
thing
yeah,
again.
but with Petey, he said, you don't raise it. He already knows. He comes to the bench knowing he screwed up and he's furious. So he said, I just kind of.
Half circle
Yeah.
reverse to the center
Whereas
line.
Besser, he needs a little more
Come
coaching.
back on
Yeah,
your short
absolutely.
diagonal.
Yeah, I
You know what I
understand that. Yeah.
Come back on
He's
your short
Apollo,
diagonal.
the other one's Atlas.
Yeah, exactly. Good. Yeah,
Yeah.
good comparison.
Yeah. Both good.
Yeah, both good, but
The
one
one
needs a
there,
little
Dad.
more
Exactly.
little more
When
instruction,
Friday comes.
I know.
discipline, and
I just listened to Patrick Laine.
Okay, let's go down the long side on this side and change the range.
He just said to the
He's
press,
looking for a
I'm going to be
suspect.
terrible.
who said that?
Patrick Laine
Oh,
from the Jets.
Yeah.
He said, oh, you're going to be on the ice? I'm going to be terrible.
yeah.
Or-
Well, okay, so they're thinking about playing 24 games sometime this late spring and summer. That's still into the discussion stage right now, as is.
Well, they've agreed to it, except they've agreed to that format, except I see now Florida and one of the other big teams is going, this ain't fair.
Well, what are they going to do if the borders are still closed?
Yeah,
and-
stupid.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, ain't fair.
no.
You're trying to adjust to a global situation.
Global pandemic,
Not-
and you're
not
talking.
your little marketing thing because you were number one in your division, right? This ain't fair. We were number one. Yeah, we're gonna change the world.
So has the Seattle named? Do they have a name for their
No.
NHL? Not yet, eh?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I'll tell you what. It's so it's so anticlimactic now, or you know, like their names become a pretty big deal because there's a wide range from the Sockeyes, the Salmon Bellies, to the Kraken, to you know, you name it.
I heard a few on the news.
Just you know.
I have to sort of shake my head. What the hell? Who came up with this name?
Oh, don't worry. They are marketing. They are testing publics. Because let's get serious. These boys really want to appeal to young people, right?
Well, that's the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
They, you know, I'll tell you what, Art. I'll never forget the day they announced the Toronto Raptors. That got pissed on and shit on all over Canada. People couldn't believe it. But who are they marketing to? The kids. And did it work?
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah, hello.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, they're geniuses.
They showed the NHL. Here's how you market in the modern world,
Fucking right.
boys.
Yeah. Well, you know what? If
Under
they-
their nose, they built a world
well,
product.
if the Seattle Seahawks, you know how this whole city is behind the Seahawks,
Yeah.
and if they can get that somewhat of the same attendance for the new NHL team, boy, they're going to be.
Oh, I have no doubt. Art,
They're going to have.
did you see how fast they sold 18,000 season
Yeah.
tickets?
I know.
You know, 3 hours?
And there's people now in the waiting list.
Oh, yeah, for years. I mean, those tickets went faster than I've ever seen tickets go before. I mean, Seattle's a big fucking place. It ain't
Oh
fucking
yeah,
butt-fuck
they don't
Ontario.
fuck around down there.
You know, there's a lot of money on the coast.
Oh, yeah.
There always is more money on the coast than inland. So yeah, I mean, and you know, it's tragic about this COVID thing in the audiences, but oh my God, the you know, one day in the future, the competition between Vancouver and Seattle over their hockey teams will be legendary.
Oh boy, what a rivalry that'll create, eh?
And you're a bus ride away from each other's
Yeah,
rink.
absolutely.
It would just
Absolutely.
promote, yeah, it'd be a great rebirth. I'll tell you one
Absolutely,
thing.
yeah.
You know, Canadians don't know much about our country. I'm going to tell you something. This country is so poised to go into the future.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you realize what's happening in the Arctic.
Yes.
The Northwest Passage is opening up.
Oh,
for
that's been
almost
open
all
for.
year.
It's been open. It's been opening up for
Years,
For years.
But it is opening up, buddy. The minute this thing is open 11 months a year, which is going to happen, that's the end of the Panama Canal.
basically.
No, it is.
Well, okay, so Russia's right in there. Of course, the Canadians, the other nations.
That's a longer route.
It's
Our
a lo-
route's,
yeah.
our route's the best one
Yeah,
in the
it
world,
is, yeah.
and it will replace the Panama Canal overnight.
Oh, absolutely.
You know that all ships in the world are built to pass through the canal.
Yeah.
They build them bigger, but they can't do them. But they can do that for Canada,
Yeah.
and Canada, and all of that shipping through the Panama Canal, they're going to lose 90% of it. and it's going to go to Canada. Like Canada's poised. Unfortunately, it's going to be poised that way because of global warming.
Well, there's no way getting around it.
No.
Well, even the Antarctic, you see what's going on down there.
20 degrees this year.
Yeah, I know. I
Well,
know.
Look out.
And the whole
Talk about letting
ecosystem.
loose viruses, right?
Oh yeah, the ones that have been buried for thousands of years.
Oh, yeah. The Pleistocene fucking viruses right here.
Maybe we should send all Trump's base down there for a little holiday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. It's,
I still, Mike, I gotta be honest, I still cannot get over this. We're in the state of Michigan when there was a stay-at-home order from the governor, and Trump encouraged all his base to go there to the steps
yeah.
with their assault rifles strapped
Yep.
over the shoulders. Okay, to me, that doesn't sit well with me. Those cocksuckers, why don't they go to the White House and do the same thing? Put one leg over the fence there. They got sharpshooters everywhere. They'll take you out.
Oh,
They'll snuff you out. But why? Okay, this is my thing. Why didn't they call in the National Guard to take these guys away from the steps of the government building?
Well, the
it's
crazy-
okay to protest.
National Guard by law has to be called in by the governor of a state.
Well, that's what I'm saying. She
Yeah.
should have, that should have been done.
But I
You
think
don't stand
she,
in there.
She wasn't going to be baited by him into a rash act, which they would allow because again, this
That
is
would
a swing
Trump would
state.
use it for his
Of
ammunition.
course, he was setting her up, and she wasn't going to take the bait kind of thing. You know what I mean?
But it doesn't sit well.
In the end,
still.
by the way, that really offended a lot of very influential people. Those guys packing their guns, going "fuck you." That's not what this is about. You know,
Yeah,
like
and that's exactly. There's
not-
all
we're not free because we get to oppose the government with our guns. That's not fucking. That's no country. Fuck that. Then just let the Hell's Angels run things, kind of thing. You know what I
Well,
mean?
yeah, it's the same thing.
You fucking cocksuckers. But Trump appeals to those gun and bikers, right?
Of course he does.
We're the real people.
Yeah, exactly.
Our guns mean we're really free.
Yeah,
No, it means you were uneducated, you dumb cunt.
I'm just surprised nobody's snuffed them out yet.
Art. Look through history. They do
I know.
They don't snuff
The
out the conservatives.
I'm just going to say that
They
the
snuff
conservatism
out the transformational
is a
people.
worldwide epidemic.
They snuff out the transformational people, the ones who can transform society. So they kill Gandhi,
Yeah.
John Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy, Martin Luther King, Medgar Evers, Malcolm X. Every great transitional thinker, boom, you're dead because you're dangerous.
Yeah.
Guys like Trump, he gets billions. The bourgeoisie love him because he's their man. As the one Christian evangelicalist said the other day, I don't want to marry Trump. He's my bodyguard. Look out. He's going to protect me from fucking commies like you and Art.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You know, like
right.
fucking shit. You liberal thinkers who love them gays and them homosexuals.
Yeah, liberate the homosexuals and
Yeah. God hates you all.
because it's against God's law.
Well, exactly. But here's a question that no Christian has ever been able to answer. In Leviticus 15, it says, "He who lays with a man is a woman."
So
Is it-
come again? A man?
In Leviticus 15,
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Bible,
Yeah.
the Old Testament, it says, "He who lays with a man as a woman is an abomination." Quote. You go 2 or 3 chapters or paragraphs after that, it says, "He who eats shellfish is an abomination," because shellfish is banned by the Old Testament. We don't know what they mean by abomination. All we know is that if you're gay and you ate fucking crabs or shrimp the night before, you're going to suffer the same fucking go-round, right? And again, it's that one passage alone that every Christian hangs their hat on, that God doesn't like homosexuals. Because God wrote the Old Testament, which he did not. You know what I mean? So, or Moses wrote it, sorry. And Moses was acting on God's order.
Yeah, yeah. I guess I can go out now. It's not raining that hard,
No,
is it?
okay.
Okay, no, I worry about the. I don't give.
Yeah,
a,
no,
I
no.
don't give a shit about me.
Yeah.
I just worry about the. Sorry. I'll lock this thing. Gonna go stand over here.
I watched a pretty interesting film last night that came on TV, which was really rare, but it was I heard about the guy, his name was Guy Balderson,
Okay.
and he was a street kid who had no mom and dad in LA in the
20s.
I actually think I need
And,
to do this again.
He gets adopted by an older Japanese guy who takes him home to his mom and dad and all that kind of thing, and he grows up with a Japanese family in the U.S. Guy Balderson, look him up, quite fascinating.
Okay.
He's just a Caucasian kid.
How many stations do you get on your television?
Oh, about
Or
fucking 40.
are you on the antenna?
I'm on cable.
Or you're on cable, like Shaw?
Just
Okay.
just useless. Everything was scum. It's the worst movie I've seen for a long time. But this guy Balderson grows up with 3 Japanese brothers, a sister, and mom and dad. And he, from the time he's about 10 years old, speaks perfect Japanese.
Yep.
When the war breaks out, him and his older brothers go down to register, and they say to his Japanese guys, no fucking way, they'll take the white guy, but they're not taking his brothers, so he refuses to go in the army. Later on, he goes, his brothers get sent to a camp. He's wild, you know, because he's a Caucasian guy growing up in this
I
family.
felt like I needed to do that.
Then he goes
for
to the
my-
army,
My boundaries.
got a perforated eardrum from a fight he had once, so he's rejected. Now he's really fucking, so he can't fucking fight. His brothers are all in Japanese prison, you know, in the war.
Yep.
Anyway, his brothers end up joining that famous division of Japanese fighters who went on to get more medals of honor than every other battalion. He ends up going to the Marines going, look, I got a perforated eardrum, but fuck, I can speak perfect Japanese. Well, by that time, they're heavily into it in Okinawa and all that, so they get him right away. They take him to the war theater. And, of course, on Iwo Jima and all that, and Okinawa, they're just throwing, they won't surrender, they're throwing fucking grenades into caves and just killing everybody, right? So Guy Balderson goes, this is bullshit. He goes to his commander, he goes, I can talk those guys out of there. And he goes, no way, you know, they're suicidal and all that kind of things. But he starts going, he starts leaving his lines and he starts going down to the caves and starts talking in perfect Japanese, going, look, this is absolutely
Fluently.
crazy. Fluently, oh yeah, yeah. This guy, this Hugo is quite credible. He saves thousands of lives. He talks people out of caves. Finally, they come out, they surrender, so they don't have to risk American soldiers. Like Guy Balderson finally said, you let me fucking, he goes from cave to cave.
And let me negotiate and try to get him out.
And it took him hours.
But doesn't
Because at
matter.
first he'd be, no, we must die. This is crazy. Look, I grew up with a family like yours. I love, the culture. Not, he would just talk to him, and finally because they didn't want to die in the end, but they just had to because of the emperor and everything, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But Guy Balderson, look him, he is. I got a lot of.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, neither did I until. Well, I heard of his name when I saw the movie come up. I thought, oh, I'm going to watch this because it's called like Hell to Eternity or something like that. It's called the film. And Tab Hunter plays him in the adult. But wow, yeah, this guy got Congressional Medal at the end of the war and everything like that. Hey, get out of there. That's a paid-for lesson. You got to pay to be in that arena. Get out. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on.
Where can I get up? Where can I get up? Come on, you can jump 9 feet for fuck's sake.
Get up. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Come on, come on. Get up, get up, get up, get up.
Okay, when you're ready, let's pick up the truck. One circle and then take your top large around the tree.
It's warming up a little bit.
Yep, how you
You can feel the
Well, I
warmth,
can
the
feel
sun,
on the other
trying
side
to,
of the
yeah,
clouds.
yeah.
Hand a little bit.
Well, people don't realize.
Greenhouse.
People don't realize. I mean, you gotta get them, educate them. People say, well, yes, the temperature was a bit cold for the plants to grow. It's been cold for the last 10 days, so the growth is a little slow. But no, got no sun. I said, you have to understand that the ultraviolet rays from the sun can go through clouds.
Absolutely.
So they are getting the benefit. Yes, it's better if it's a clear day. I understand that. But you have to understand that the ultraviolet rays from our solar sun penetrates through the clouds like nobody. It's like nothing.
Yeah, like grass will
It's
grow
like
on
a-
a teepee
Yeah, well, there you
because the
go.
sun comes right through the canvas.
Yes.
Like,
Oh,
Every native
sometimes.
knows that kind of thing. You know, if the grass don't die.
Yeah.
Establishing boundaries on the
And also, you
My
know,
cousin took over my uncle's orchard, and he was a big green grower. You know what I mean?
yep.
He told me never put them out till the ambient temperature is 70. He said that cuts growth and potency. If they struggle at the beginning, he said, so his rule was had to be ambient 70 under the old go-round kind of
Yep.
thing. Anything less than that, he said,
I gotta walk down here.
yeah.
Go ahead, keep going.
He just said anything lower than that, he said, it sets them back a bit and you just don't get the kind of quality. But I'll tell you one thing, of course, his were in an orchard in the Rutland
Oh, okay.
on a sprinkler system. Oh, the size of these things. They were so fucking-
Like trees.
oh, God, yeah. You know, Ross, he did a lot.
From here, you're going to the right.
Did well. Better than apples.
You can go sitting front. And turn.
Good old Uncle Peter, he was in a wheelchair for the last 6 years of his life, so he wasn't getting up in the orchard to see what Ross was growing up on the bench up there.
Rail on that side because there's no puddles there.
Yeah, well,
Use the 10 meter
the ones I have
Keep it
are
going.
very healthy.
Forward.
Mike, they're very healthy. People don't realize also plants
Circle.
are stronger and more disease resistant if you start them from seed.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's a given. I'll ignore that one. It's not my phone. But the ones that I have for you guys, they're very healthy,
Oh, fabulous.
and I'll crop them periodically because
Yeah, I've never.
I know how to crop them.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to watch you do that.
Yeah.
So yes.
Today to me would be a beautiful day for a plant.
Well, yeah, but you want to, you don't want to, like I say, Wednesday I'll come out a little earlier and I'll plant them in there and then they'll have a whole day to climatize to everything, the new ambient, everything.
What do you think? You see what Let's has got there? She's got the shells, those plastic shells.
Yeah, yeah, those are great.
Yeah?
They reflect the heat too, in a sense, so in a hot summer,
Next time,
like the pots I have, they're black. So that's a negative basically, because if it's really hot,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the root system can get
Oh, yeah.
extremely hot. So I have to keep an eye on them. And but yeah, well, Let's is there. It's good. So I'll probably put them in the first two pots, but there's one closer. It's really over full. That's going to be taken down about
Right,
this.
right, right.
Like this is a rim. Take it down about
Well,
that
yeah,
much.
I noticed a couple of them.
Yeah, there's
you
too
gotta-
much stuff in there.
Yeah. Oh, I wasn't worried because I was doing it at night when nobody was over there because I didn't want to see me wheeling wheelbarrows and stuff out of this.
They probably don't care.
I don't know.
But you don't know. Yeah, just for. Yeah.
All that I ever heard from Lex is that that's his pile. He lets her throw the stuff on there because he's going to use it on his field.
All right.
That's all I ever heard.
Okay.
Do you want me to keep going this way?
yes, you can. Just work through that. That's there, through that little part of the circle. You come over the pole and you go down there and just tuck back a little bit. There. That's it. Good. Yes. Good once more. Go back to your 20-meter circle. Rising trot. Bring it forward a little bit on your good circle.
Yeah, you see this other crazy thing that Trump's on about now about Joe Scarborough murdering that woman.
No.
Like, you're like, do you know anything about? You know who Joe Scarborough is? Okay?
yeah.
Morning Joe.
Yeah.
Well, he used to be in the legislature,
Okay.
and a staff person in their office died just 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Million autopsies were done. They looked at it kind of thing. She had a heart, some kind of heart arrhythmia, and she just dropped dead and smashed her head on the way down to the desk, kind of thing. And that thing's been settled for you. Well, Trump is now tweeting. He's demanding that Bill Barr open up a cold case that this woman was murdered by Joe Scarborough, right? which, by the way, is another right-wing conspiracy theory, right? Like the old
Like,
Hillary.
is this like Obama Gate?
This is like Hillary and Bill killing
Oh.
that person. And, this is the right wing go on. But anyway, Trump's now tweeting it and demanding the cold case opening on Joe Scarborough. Of course, Scarborough's going.
Doesn't he ever fucking work, Trump? Doesn't
I
he
know,
ever do
no, he
anything
doesn't,
for
he
the
doesn't, he
country?
doesn't. No,
he
he
sits
doesn't.
all night on the toilet
He
and
considers
tweets.
he considers that work. He's defending the
Jesus.
country from Art and Mike. That's work. Like you think it's easy being me? I got to save the world from Art and Mike. They're coming.
More on each side.
And the dogs too. Look out.
Well, the canines.
Yeah, exactly.
The,
You think they're
the
dogs.
dogs of war.
You think they're dogs. They're actually commies masquerading as dogs.
Yeah,
They're just
Jesus.
calling this. Oh yeah, no, he's just mad. When you hit the right wing conspiracy button, buddy,
Yeah, I know.
forget
I know.
all.
I
Forget.
get a little bit tired of him. You know, I'm glad that the major mainstream media is not carrying out his
I'm glad-
daily updates because it's all to do with
Yep.
his campaigning. Dr. Bricks, like I mentioned to you before, she's sort of bowing down towards what he wants her to say.
Well, I've heard doctors say at some points during this she has not distinguished herself. That's
No,
what
she-
one guy
not
said.
with this.
That's what one guy said the
Yeah.
other night.
Yeah, and the thing is about Anthony Fauci, what he does, he goes to the NIH, and he just lays it out.
Well, Fauci, one of the reasons that I haven't really turned on him is because every time there was a massive contradiction, he'd come out 2 hours later and tell you the truth
Yeah, but he should have done that right in front of. Yeah,
and say, okay, now here's what I meant. Here's
yeah.
what I meant.
yeah,
And
I
then
know,
he-
I know.
And then he'd give you the
It's-
straight
it's-
goods,
it's-
and then Trump would go, should I fire him or not? Should I fire him or not?
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
He was. I agree with you, but now I think now he doesn't speak so much on the daily updates when Trump is on there with his.
Well, Trump has
Now-
completely sidelined the
Yeah.
complete CDC.
Oh,
They're
that's
out of it.
yeah, and then of course,
I run the country.
but
you shut the
Fauci
fuck
goes on the NIH, and he lays it out in line with the science.
And he goes
the
on
data.
the show with fucking, on the CNN show all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I said, Fauci's 79. His pension's fat.
it
He
is
ain't fucking
very
worried
fat.
about getting no. You know,
But
and-
I think he's also deep down worried because he's been, all these guys get they receive death threats, right? All from Trump's base, right?
oh yeah,
Anybody
yeah,
that goes against Trump, you're going to get death threats.
But you know, it's funny. Fauci was addressing that the other night because they were asking about the death threats. He kind of laughed and he said, "Should have seen what was happening when I was working on AIDS." Like people going from the right wing, going, "Let him die!" You know, he said, "Yeah." He said, "I've been through this with AIDS."
Yeah.
That's why I regard Magic Johnson as being one of the great leaders of the last century.
Oh yeah. Oh, of course.
You know, he got AIDS when it was terrifying.
Yes,
when it
he
was the Black
got at the
Plague,
peak,
and
He
came
came
right
out,
out like
yeah,
a man and said,
yeah.
"Okay, here's
and he did in a lot of. He was on a lot of talk show hosts.
Oh, and again, he had every right to be terrified at that point because we all were, right?
Well, of course, because we know. Oh, I'll tell you, my father, when he got blood transfusions because he had leukemia,
Yeah.
he got AIDS, but nobody ever told him. And it's hindsight, glad he wasn't
Wow.
been told. Yeah, and that's. I think we talk about it, my brother and my sisters. I think that's, of course, he had quadruple bypass, aneurysms. He had aneurysms behind his knees, which weren't dealt with. But we all suspect that because of the things that he has endured in regards to his heart and
fuck yeah,
the
what about the
cardiovascular
war?
system and the war.
The war's gonna fucking take you down.
Bringing 14 of us from a country, staying on top of a grocery store in 2 little rooms,
Yep.
and the stress of him.
Oh yeah.
He got a business partner who cheated him. Okay. He got a nervous breakdown
Yeah,
because
he'd
of
be
that. He
bitter.
was so deeply hurt.
Oh,
He
bitter.
trusted this one guy, the Dutch guy. His name was Bram Menes. And that kind of did him in. He got very sick, and I was a young child. I didn't really understand the whole scope of it.
No, stress takes us
But-
down, brother.
But I think we suspect that the leukemia was the ultimate disease that got him.
Art, one thing I never forgot when I was
Or the
watching-
AIDS, excuse me, the AIDS. It was the AIDS that ultimately got him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Christ. All that stress.
Well, they didn't know too much. They were busy doing a lot of research that period of time in the 80s, right?
No. God. Well, we didn't
didn't
have
have
the
it.
therapeutics
No,
at
of
that
course
time.
not.
Nothing. I mean, when
Nothing.
Magic Johnson came out, we couldn't.
We all thought that that's it. It's
Yeah.
a death sentence, right?
No, absolutely. I will never forget Jane Goodall. Because I watched that series for years because it was just fascinating. Because I know chimps are humans and a few degrees removed. Like they're our closest relative living.
Yeah.
Chimps. When that female dies, her 7-year-old son lays down at the bottom of that tree and dies over 3 days.
like he just lays down and goes, I'm so depressed.
Uh-huh.
And I'll never forget that. You know, like that's what psychological stress can do. You know, he just laid down and died when his mom died. Could have lived, like he was 7 years old, he was perfectly weaned and stuff like that, but the depression.
Yeah. You know what? I keep telling people, and I was at UBC, and I was telling researchers, students doing their degrees or BScs under my watch, I basically told them, because I see them, I watch them, and when they were studying the behavior of our ungulates from the rooftop in our facility, you could see the students were stressed. So I had a little pep talk with them. I said, you guys are taking this way, way too much. You got to quit stressing out about things. You got to have time for yourself. You got to go out maybe once or twice a week and just have fun. Forget, put all the schoolwork. Because what I'm hearing from you, you guys don't sleep hardly. You got broken sleep because you're sleeping in dorms where it's fucking noisy all the time.
Yeah.
And it's compounded stress, and then they get sick. And they're very, very susceptible to colds and flus because their immune system is suppressed because of the stress.
Yep.
The body can handle good, positive stress. What I mean by
Well,
that,
yeah, it
your
produces-
wife has a baby or something, or
produces
you
hormones,
bring a
makes you
puppy
strong.
home, that's a good stress.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
But all that
absolutely.
negative stress, the body can't handle. They can only take too much. It just kind of breaks down. And that's when you're open to all these diseases and bacterial, viral diseases and anything else that comes along your way.
I've tried to say to people, but they think I'm crazy, that if you put your body under physical stress, it creates hormones and things to protect you from
Yes.
the stress. But if you don't put it to that level, you will never produce those hormones to do that.
And
And
then
you're going to lose
fucked.
a lot.
Then you're fucked,
Yeah.
basically, yeah.
I mean, that's like, yeah, no, I constantly put a fair amount of stress on my body every day kind of thing. For an hour, you know, even going out and cutting there for an hour and a half last night. That's enough to keep me up for the day. Swinging and
One thing I
produce.
noticed myself, Mike, people say, "Oh, you work so hard, you're gonna sleep like a log." No, my body doesn't work that way. I worked for 10 hours or more, and I could hardly walk that night. I was walking, like I mentioned, like
Right.
a 100-year-old
Oh,
man,
yeah.
and because my brain says, "Oh fuck, don't be a pussy," right? And I did it. But that night, I had broken sleep all night long because it was too much for my body, and it affected me when I went
Yeah.
from my REMs.
Yeah, if you raise
it
it, yeah.
affected me. A lot of people works the opposite. They can work 10 hours and they sleep like a log. I can't
No,
do
I'm
that.
not. That's not the. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I have to do a lot of work to be. But I'll tell you something. I'll make an admission. I never used to have broken sleep, but I'd always wake up during the night at some point. You
Yeah,
know, and
we
check
all do.
this and that. And ever since I started sleeping with her, I noticed that I go to bed and I wake up in the morning,
Okay.
and I don't wake up. There's no waking up at night and going, what time is it? And like I used to do kind of thing.
Yeah.
I sleep right through. And I'm wondering, and I just said to Letta one day, I wonder if that's because wherever I sleep, the dog always walks up to me, finds my back, and then goes down hard on my back, wants to be touching. Like that's the way dogs want to
Yeah,
sleep.
they want that contact.
I never used to let Tor do that. He
It's
had
like
to
a
sleep on the
security
left
blanket.
hand.
Yeah.
But she's so smart that when I'm on my computer all night, she sleeps on a blanket behind my computer. I can't see her.
But she knows you're there.
Yeah, but when I throw all the pillows off, because I don't sleep with a pillow, when I throw all the pillows off, means I'm turning to my stomach and I'm going down. She immediately gets up, boom,
So you sleep on your
stomach.
You do, eh?
Yeah.
I can't do that.
All
You're-
my life, yeah. I
Oh,
just
is that
can't
right?
sleep
eh?
any other
oh,
way.
that's
but
interesting.
it's called. I looked it up once. It's a rare position. The psychologists call it the falling man position.
The falling man position.
you're like- 'cause I'm
yeah,
like
there's.
this.
I know some people, but I never.
And
Yeah.
that's the only way I can go to sleep.
Really?
No pillow on the bed at all. I
Oh,
can't have
really?
them on the bed.
And it's okay because if I go on my tummy, like I lie on the beach back in the day, I always get lower back pain.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on my
well,
belly.
that is because my mattress is hard as a fucking rock. It's got to be.
Yeah.
That doesn't allow your body to sag.
Sink. Yeah, that's the whole
I
key.
don't allow that.
Yeah, well, my mattress is very firm and strong.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I mean, at a mile underground, me and my partner, we used to drill for 5 hours, no breaks, no nothing. You know why? Because we could then take 3 hours off.
which we would do. We'd drill like a motherfucker, get everything, load all our powder and stuff. Then we'd go to a big pile of rocks and lay down on some flat ones, turn your light off.
Yeah.
At a mile underground, you sleep deep.
Yeah.
And it's dark. And you just turn your light off.
The hell
And,
did she should just do there? Look at,
but yeah, I used to sleep on piles of rocks and slept good.
well, actually, for me, I sleep initially, Mike. When I go to bed, don't forget I have a CPAP machine.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a mask. So I'm on my back, and I guess when I fall asleep on my back, right, I will turn over to my right side, the fetal position,
Yeah, yeah.
and on my back.
Right.
And I've
Yeah.
and you know what? To tell you, when I was younger, I slept on my back in one position, and I wake up on my back.
Wow.
Hardly ever move.
Yeah, I could never sleep on my back ever. But again, I've never slept on a pillow. Of course, this is always a big consternation between me and women I've been with.
Well, I
Their heads
remember.
are way up in these fucking pillows, and I'm on the other side in another world.
Yeah.
Completely.
Well, because I had
I
sleep.
solved that problem.
Yeah.
Now I have a dog.
There you go. Well, I used to have sleep apnea before it was diagnosed. My girlfriend and then my wife, she used to give me the knuckle on my back between my shoulder blades, and that used to piss me off so bad.
Hard. I worked with 4 guys with sleep apnea when I was in Ontario, and they're all way younger than me, kind of thing. They all had something in common, though. They all had 3 eggs for breakfast, and they didn't do a lot.
Okay, well, yeah, that can cause problems.
They all had bellies. They all had $100 a month fucking sport packages in every sport in the world. Every Saturday they'd get together and watch sports all day. Well, I went rollerblading. You know, I remember it. Every night I came home from work and I went running for half an hour. They came home and were getting, you know,
Trying to use my
planning their
outside
dinner.
brain
You know,
a
it's
lot.
just a different lifestyle.
That's why I
You know what it
feel
was?
bad.
An uneducated lifestyle for them. They're all intelligent people, except when it came to themselves. Like, you can't live like that.
Oh,
Like, like,
Is-
I've always grown up in I was a commercial fisherman, a miner. Everybody was very physical. Everything was just very physical all the time. You know what I mean? These guys come out of the auto industry. It's a different kind of mentality.
is Jill coming down today?
I don't know. I think she said she was going to come down today because she wanted to put the rest of her lime on the field. And today would be a nice day to do that.
Well, do you text her or she text you?
Well, she texted me the other day and she said she's coming down Monday to lay on the thing. I said, I think I'm going to be cutting that day. She wasn't asking if I was going to
Be here or not?
She just said, I'm coming down Monday to lay the stuff. And I said, well, I think I'm cutting that day, but good luck or something like that, or the field looks good. Or...
Yeah.
But when I got up this morning, it was just a little too damp for me to want to go up there.
Yeah, it was raining pretty good this
Fuck
morning.
that, I got to go way up 108th Street,
No.
fucking Maple Ridge, up on the side of the mountain. Fuck.
No, and you're slippery.
And so when I saw this, I went, it might not be real good up there for a few hours. Anyway, I'm anxious to get back with this Larissa kind of thing and get that stuff squared away.
What's that? What's that? With
That stuff that she did for me yesterday. She wants
Oh.
to set up a web page for me.
yeah, you were saying, yeah.
She goes, don't even worry about that. It doesn't hardly takes an hour. You know, she went from.
You can buy domains, eh? They're cheap.
She bought me one yesterday,
Oh yeah.
standing right here on the phone.
Yeah. But you got to get somebody. If you're gonna buy a domain, this is my opinion. I'm not a professional at this in this field, but I understand about domains. Once you get a domain, you better have a good fucking homepage that's going to be very attractive.
Oh yeah,
And it's
no,
going to
no,
catch people's eyes.
Well, that's what she said right away. She said she bought me a domain name, standing right beside me.
Yeah, you know, you were saying, yeah.
BlackBerry Ninja.
Yeah. Well, that's nothing new. I mean, yeah.
And then she says, then we'll set up your web page and you can put your pictures.
Well, I was going to do that years ago for my dog training, but I thought, fuck, I got enough work. I don't need to advertise. It's my business, my training is all done by word of mouth.
Right.
And I don't need it because if I ever decided to do that, I probably couldn't handle it because I'll probably get so many people.
Well, that's what I've kind of always been nervous about because it's just me. I don't have an employee, and I'm going, what the fuck if I did get 50 calls in a month?
There you go. And how are you going to handle it?
I couldn't.
And then what happens if you go on Instagram and all this other new web page?
I know. That's what
You
I'm thinking
gotta hire guys to work for you.
And
can
that might
just
get a
give
bit
her.
ugly.
I'm saying, Mike, you can get bombarded
No, but that's what you're
with calls. Just keep that in mind.
Oh yeah, no. Well, that's why I refused to Google.
That's it.
They called me from California, and the guy said to me, and just I checked them out, called them back and everything. The guys from California and bright people who work for Google.
Say that
These aren't somebody's nephew. Like they're all sharp people who work
No,
for
no,
Google.
I understand that.
They all get and the guy goes, Mike, do you realize he said that if you go on our service, he said you are the only BlackBerry cutter in Western Canada? There's not even a person who does your business. And I said, that's what I'm worried about.
See, when you told me that last night about this, it was nice of her to do all that. But I was thinking later on that evening,
Did you see that? I gave
if
her
you
a
get, I
slight
mean, it's
tap.
nice if you had a company, you had staff, you had a group.
Maybe she,
But if you're solo,
I can see her
a
cranky.
lot of people will get upset if you can't deal.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. If you can't,
They get
well,
upset.
well, I'd have to make it pretty clear. Look,
Kick her ass.
I'm
though.
always very careful about what areas I service. I
Well,
don't
it's
go into
finished.
Vancouver.